Hey guys, I'm Bethany.
I'm Kristen.
And this is Looking for the Middle.
And we are back with another CouchCast.
You say that every time.
Well, we are back for another
I know.
CouchCast. What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Thanks for joining in for another CouchCast.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Thanks guys for being here.
Yeah. Bethany is a little she's on the back end of a...
Yeah, I'm getting better.
A little bit of a cold.
But I kind of sound like a man.
Yep.
So you'll just have to deal with it.
No guest host, just Bethany.
Just me. It's me, I promise.
All right. You want to pick from the
Sure.
box, bowl,
What do we have here?
whatever it's called?
Okay. How do you know when it's time to just move on if he's not interested?
Oh, jeez.
That's
a great question.
heavy question.
But it is very heavy. What a heck of a way to start.
I know, to start our day. Welcome back from being sick. Now,
Yeah.
tell us when to just move on.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
What jumps out at you right away, Bethany?
I don't think it's necessarily a time-related thing always.
Agreed.
But for the most part, I think you know. If you're putting out all the feelers, you're putting out all the signs, and they're not being reciprocated, you know that. So I don't know what the right amount of time to do that is. What do you think?
It's like one of those deep down things, like but
you
you don't
just
want to
know.
admit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think two things come to mind as far as when it's time to move on. If your friends are telling you it's time to move on.
That's a really
like,
good...
People who know you really well are like, okay, Kristen, I know that you really are interested in this guy.
He's super cute and he's great, but I just don't think he's interested.
Yeah. Because your friends can see that objectively.
They're a step removed.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, I know if the roles were reversed, I would have a really hard time saying that to my friends. So if I said it, I was going to mean it and really make sure I thought it was true. This is not something you just throw around and be like, I don't think he's interested. I think you should just move on.
Yeah, that's true.
So that would be my first thing. Or if he's dating other people.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point.
So it's one thing if he's just single forever. That does make it a little bit harder. Or if he's been single the entire time you've known him. And you're like, okay, well, he's not really going out with anybody else.
So maybe he does like me, yeah.
But if he is pursuing somebody else, dating other girls, going out on dates, and it's not happening with you, I think...
That's a pretty surefire indicator.
Because then you're confident that, okay, well, if he does like a girl, he's going to do something about it.
Yeah.
So he just must not like me, which is...
It's so sucky
so
and it's hard
to admit.
I know.
It's so crappy.
And you're normally the last person to admit it too.
Because you're
right?
holding on to every glimmer of hope
right.
deep down inside of you that maybe he'll change his mind, maybe he'll come around, maybe, We'll
have this fairy tale love story.
Yeah.
He'll realize. It's always the best friend comes back and what does he say? It was always you.
It's my favorite line.
You love it, I know.
I love it so much.
But that's what movies are made of. It's not what real lives are made of.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good point. That, if he's dating other people, if he's out there, he's asking people out, and it's not ever you, it's probably not ever going to be you. And I think once you get to that point, you need to make a pretty hard break. I'm gesturing hard break here. Yeah. You can't see it, but you need to cut it off and remove yourself from that as much as you can, because that's just not fair for either one of you.
No.
More so you, because he doesn't probably know.
Yeah.
But create those boundaries.
Yeah, I think it's one thing if, you're interested in him and you're trying to, flirt and make it known that you're interested, but it's just not being reciprocated, then yes, you can just kind of remove yourself once you've, come to the realization, okay, maybe he doesn't like me. And then you can just kind of move on from there.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, if you are kind of flirting with him and trying to make it interesting and he's flirting back, but he's not doing anything, that means there either needs to be a conversation had or you've got to draw some boundaries.
Yes, I agree.
Because it's not fair for that to continue.
Anyone.
Yeah, to anyone, to him or to you, if that's going to be like, oh, well, he flirts with me. But if he's been flirting with you for 6 months, a year, however long it's been, and nothing's ever come of it, then okay, well, you must just be shamelessly flirting with me. So I'm going to put up this boundary of, you know what? I like you as a friend, so I don't want to ruin this, but I can't keep doing this.
Yeah, I don't flirt with people forever.
No.
With it not going anywhere.
No. Not
at
all.
That's a good boundary to have. And, whether it be spending less time together, whether it be talking less, whatever those boundaries need to be, there needs to be that distinction of I'm not going to spend boyfriend amounts of time with a guy who's not my boyfriend.
That's a great line.
That's kind of a good way of looking at it, though,
Yeah.
I think. You've got to have that, whatever that boundary is for you, put that in place, and then stick to it.
That's the hardest
That's
part.
the kicker.
Yeah.
And that's why you need, one, those friends who told you, hey, it's probably time to move on. Have those same friends say, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing what you said. I am moving on. I need you to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And they can help you stay accountable to those boundaries that you've created for yourself.
Yeah, because that's a super difficult thing to do on your own anyways. Just to be like, okay, I'm going to draw this boundary with this guy, but then to stick with it, you've got to have that accountability. So I can call him like, Bethany, oh my gosh, I really want to text him, but I don't need to. And then she'll be like, Kristen,
just tell me whatever
just tell me
it was.
what you're going to tell him, and then we'll move along. Yeah. And then it's fine.
Especially if it's that flirty type relationship, like you were saying. That's hard to... It's easy to fall right back into that.
Yeah, definitely. So, but like you said, going back to the kind of original wording of the question, I don't think there's necessarily a specific time frame, but I think these are things that you can look for as far as, I mean, if you wanted to put a time frame, I don't know. That's so hard. But I mean, if a year has gone by,
yeah,
and you really like it and nothing has happened,
it's probably time to start thinking about taking that step back.
Yeah. Or if you're super bold and he hasn't really dated anybody else in that year and you want to go up and have the conversation of like, hey, you know what? We've been kind of, friends and flirting and whatever else for a year and nothing's come. Do you like me or do you not? No, I'm saying this.
I'm tired of this friendlationship stuff.
If you are that bold of a person.
I'm not. Spoiler alert.
I'm not either. It's very easy for me to say that into a microphone.
Sitting in your closet where no one can see us.
Exactly. Way different story if I'm actually saying that to a guy. But I mean, now granted, I have had conversation. I've had that conversation before. It was over texting, so don't be too impressed. But that was our primary means of communication. But I was like, you know what? I am interested in you, and I'm kind of getting the feeling that you're interested in me. So could you clear this up of like what this is? And then we ended up dating. So,
it worked out
It worked out fine. But that is an option.
Yeah.
If you're wanting a time frame, I think it's just one of the things you've got to take case by case. And
I agree.
And one other thing I'll say too, this is kind of going backwards, but
that's okay.
If your friends say something like that to you, or they say, hey, I think it's time for you to move on. And it can, if you want to get a second opinion for this, maybe, that's fine. Because, I don't know. I do that where I'm like, I talk to one friend and be like, oh, hey, do I need to worry? Is this something I need to be aware of, or is this something I need to look out for? You can ask, but if you got multiple friends being like, Kristen, I just think it's time for you to move on, take that really take that to heart, because that's super difficult for a friend to say. And also your friends care about you more than anybody. And they want to see you happy and with someone that really cares about you.
They want to be your cheerleader.
Yes.
They don't want to be the ones killing all your dreams and saying, hey, this guy's not going to like you. You need to kind of keep going.
Yeah.
And it's not fun for your friend or for you, but they know you. They, especially if it's like mutual, they know both of you, then they really have some insight, I think. So, and it sounds so corny, but when people ask this type of question, they're not asking because they really want to know. A lot of times they're asking because they already know the answer. They either want someone to validate them continuing on like things are, or someone to say, no, you know the answer. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, when you know, you know. And knowing it and then doing something are two very different things. It doesn't have to be a snap decision, but there comes a time when you do just have to move on. And that's okay. It may feel like a breakup a little bit. It may feel like it's weird, but you'll get over it, you'll move on, and there will be someone else. But you have to take that first step of saying, okay, I know it's time to move on, now I'm going to do something about it.
That's so true. And with that, I think we just wrapped up another episode of CouchCast.
I think so. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's go talk about something not as heavy.
Okay, sounds good. So until next time, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Looking for the Middle.